brings me a problem property, I can lay out a full strategy for them that can be really expensive sometimes to fix problems. And if the owner doesn't have the budget, or if they're not willing to spend the budget, which is, I think, even worse. One example was, there's a 4-unit building and there were 3 tenants inside. 1 unit was vacant. And we had tenants that were not always paying rent on time. It was very iffy, a lot of partial payments. I had one tenant that threw out their couch from the front window and onto the sidewalk and just left it there. We ended up with so many city violations stacking up because we'd have to constantly get rid of all this trash, and the owners didn't want to spend the budget on getting rid of the trash. They wanted to have the tenants pay for it, but the tenants were not going to pay for it. They were barely paying the rent at the property. I told the owner, you have to evict these people and get them out of the property, and then we can rehab the building, find new tenants that are going to come in and treat the property with respect. So there were 3 units. An eviction can cost you anywhere from $1,000 up to $2,000-$3,000, depending on how long it gets drawn out and how many times the attorney has to go to court. But they didn't want to spend the money to evict them, which backfired on them because they ended up spending way more than $3,000-$4,000 on removing all the trash, debris, the stuff that was just being dumped. The tenants that were remaining there were still breaking items. They were breaking windows and doors inside the property that would eventually have to be replaced when they moved out, but the owners did not want to spend the money, and so unfortunately I had to give that property back to the owners because they didn't listen to my advice, and the property just became worse and worse as time went on. So if you hire a property manager, listen to their advice if they give you some good advice.